How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? As you get ready to listen to this upcoming episode from the Playmakers Blog Podcast, I just want to let you know that you too can get into the podcast journey. It's very simple. It's very easy. All you got to do is jump on Anchor, the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. It is 100% free and easy to use. And even with Anchor, you can get great sponsors who want to advertise your podcast. That means you can get paid for your podcast right away from Jump Street. So in fact, reading this ad is what I'm doing right now. So if you had the time, if you had the will and determination and the dream to be a podcaster, what you waiting for? Jump on it. Anchor is the way to go. You ready? I'm ready. The Playmakers Bar Podcast present Hoops Talk, hosted by Darnell, the Playmaker Salins. NBA, college basketball, playoffs, March Madness. No matter what, we talking hoops, man. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Down at the Playmaker Salins here, out here in Jacksonville, Florida, bringing you a new edition of Hoops Talk from the Playmakers Bar Podcast, and we are through the first two rounds of the NCAA Tournament. Upsets galore has happened. Nobody has a perfect bracket, as expected, through the first two rounds. We do got some NBA news to talk about as well. I know it's been a while since I talked NBA, but gotta start off with the college tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Oral Roberts, Loyola-Chicago, UCLA, Syracuse, Oregon State. Those are some of the WGCs who have made it to the Sweet 16. I'm not going to preview the Sweet 16. I'm going to leave that for the next episode, which will be dropping on Friday. But let's look at it. In the first round, some of the notable upsets we had Oral Roberts taking out the 2 seed Ohio State. We had North Texas, the 13 seed, taking out the 4 seed Purdue. We had Oregon State at the 12 seed in the Pac-12 champions, taking out the 5th seed Tennessee Volunteers. Syracuse and Jim Boeheim, they about to be on another run again. As another 11 seed, they took out 6 seed San Diego State in the first round. Rutgers took down Clemson in a 10-7 upset. Ohio took out the reigning defending national champions, the Virginia Cavaliers, with the 13-4 upset. You had UCLA, the 11 seed, taking out the 6 seed BYU. Maryland took down UConn in a 10-7 upset. And how about this one right here, ladies and gentlemen? Abilene Christian, the 14 seed, taking out the 3 seed in the Big 12 champions, Texas Longhorns. I just gave you Ohio. I gave you UCLA, Abilene Christian, Oregon, North Texas, Oral Roberts, Oregon State, Syracuse, and Rutgers. 9 upsets in the first round. 9 in the first round. The biggest one being Oral Roberts taking out Ohio State. The 15-2 upset. Not only did Oral Roberts end up doing that job, they took out my Florida Gators in the 15-7 matchup. I didn't watch the game. I was at work. But I went to my Florida Gators Facebook page. And how in the hell did we blow a lead to lose to Oral Roberts? You know what they told me? You know what the comment said? 20 turnovers. We were one of the least turnover team in the country, and we turned the ball over 20 times. Unacceptable. Very unacceptable. Another comment. They tried to run the clock out, which means they played a slow pace, up 11, trying to run the clock out instead of putting the throttle to the metal, the pedal to the metal. That's Mike White. That's on Mike White. You should tell your team to finish them, not slow it down, and then you let the leading scorer in all of college basketball, Ames, the B is silent, ladies and gentlemen, the B is silent, Ames, get the team back in there, and they pulled off the upset, 81-78. Mike White has been with the Florida Gators for about 5 years? Yes, we have made a tournament every year. We don't get far with Mike White. I am very close to saying Mike White needs to go. I might be almost there because you just lost to Oral Roberts, a team in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a team that nobody knew about. Yet they had the leading scorer in college basketball, and yet he wasn't doing much until you decided to slow the pace down. Instead of continuing the attack, you wanted to run. Between Florida football this year and Florida basketball, it's been a rough year. Now football was in 2020, basketball was 2021, but still, Mike White, if you ain't fired after this, best believe your seat is gonna be on boiling hot next season. This is unacceptable. We at the University of Florida, we don't get upset by teams nobody knows about. When we lost to Butler, people knew about Butler then. Butler was not an unknown team. So when we lost to Butler, okay, we didn't want it to, but hey, people know about Butler. Man, we lost to Michigan State in the championship game. We lost to UConn in the Final Four. We lost to Michigan in the Elite Eight. When we lose in tournament, we lose to teams. Okay, it's understandable. Oral Roberts, you got to be joking. Oral Roberts. So Oral Roberts is in the Sweet 16. Go figure. That's not the only surprising thing that took place in the second round. My National Player of the Year, Cade Cunningham, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys was taken out by the Pac-12 champions, Oregon State. I watched that game, and to me, I'm gonna say it like this: Cade Cunningham was not the player that I was hoping him to be. Not in that game. I needed Cade Cunningham to be the superstar that I knew he is. He wasn't the superstar that he was. You look at the stats, he had it. I believe he scored about 20 points. But, I needed more. I needed more from Cade Cunningham. He never fully wanted to take over the game. 24 points on 6 for 20 shooting. 6 for 20 shooting the ball. 24 points. He didn't rise to the occasion. He did. I was expecting more from Cade Cunningham. I was expecting more from the Cowboys. But the Beavers, Ethan Thompson, should I say? Y'all better look out. Oregon State is trying to make a run. Speaking of Oregon State, shout out to the Pac-12. Pac-12 have 4 teams in the Sweet 16, by the way. 4. UCLA, taking out BYU and Abilene Christian. They did what they're supposed to do with Abilene Christian. They did what they're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. This is what Texas was supposed to do, but failed to do. UCLA did it. So UCLA, it's another Pac-12 team in the Sweet 16. USC. The last game of the second round took place last night, and USC gave Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks an ass whooping they would never, ever forget. $85-51. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. USC defeated Kansas 85-51. For those of you who are not good at math, that is a 34-point ass whooping taken by Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. The Blue Bloods are no more. Duke. No, I said no. There's one blue blood left. I'll take that back. I just talked about UCLA. But Duke and Kentucky never made a tournament. North Carolina, they got their ass whooped in the first round by Wisconsin. Because Wisconsin finally remember how to shoot the ball. They finally remember how they was a 3-point shooting team. They finally remember this stuff. It took them to get to the tournament for them to finally remember what is Wisconsin basketball. And they took it out on North Carolina. So North Carolina got ousted quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that just left Kansas. Kansas Jayhawks. And this is what you bring to the table in the second round against USC that whooped your ass. That's the third Pac-12 team in the Sweet 16. Oregon advanced to the second round by a no contest because of a COVID situation happening in the VCU program. Prayers go out to VCU, everybody who has the COVID virus. Prayers go out to you. Hope you guys recover quickly, speedy recovery. I'm still disappointed because that's one of the first round games I was really looking forward to between Oregon and VCU. But hey, health comes first and foremost. So NCAA had to do what they had to do. Oregon moved on. But Oregon did play in the second round against the favorite National Player of the Year coming into the season, and Luka Garza and the Iowa Hawkeyes. How did that go? Even though the score don't indicate it by 95-80, but you can pretty much say the Oregon Iowa game and the USC and Kansas game was pretty much mirror images of each other because Oregon dominated Iowa. Luka Garza had 36 points. Like, Luka Garza's going out with 36 points, 9 rebounds. 36 points and 9 rebounds. That's Luka Garza's number. And you got your ass whipped by 15 still. Where was the help for Luka Garza? Where was the help? Where? Biskent had 17. But McCaffrey came off the bench and gave you 10. But what's the help? You had 3 starters. And the other McCaffrey, Bunyard and Frederick, none of them scored points. So out of your starters is Whiskey and Garza. Your starter scored 53 points. That's between 2 players. Your other 3 starters ain't scored a damn point. And then you got 27 off your bench. Luke Garson didn't have no help. And Oregon? I mean, I had Oregon getting to the Sweet 16 anyway by beating Iowa. They just proved right. I love this Oregon team. This Oregon team, Damian Hogan, he knows how to recruit. He knows how to get the players that fit his system. He knows how to get this team rolling. This team is rolling. Now, they didn't win the Pac-12 because Oregon State took it from them. And Colorado, by the way. But, nevertheless, I always loved it, Oregon. Look at this. Oregon. One player had 17. Another player had 23. Another player had 21. Another player had 19. The other starter had 9. They only got 6 bench points. 89 points came from the starters of Oregon. 89 from the starters of Oregon. The starters beat Iowa by 9. The other 6 points that's off the bench, they were just added. So Oregon starters beat Iowa. What can be said? By the way, by saying all this, there's only one. The Big Ten Conference had 9 teams get in it. 9. They're already down to 1. Because after Wisconsin beat North Carolina, they went into Baylor. And if you listen to the special show on Pipe Barn Radio, the Wednesday before the NCAA Tournament, you heard me say that first round game against Hartford will probably be the get right game for Baylor. And it was. Because not only they beat Hartford 79-55, they followed up by beating Wisconsin 76-63. Baylor's looking like Baylor again. So Wisconsin got taken out in the second round. I already told you about Purdue getting taken out by North Texas in the 13-4 upset. Ohio State, I already told you they got taken out by Oral Roberts in the 15-2 upset. Illinois, they handled business in round 1 against Drexel, 78-49. But all of a sudden, they ran into Loyola-Chicago in the 1-8 matchup, and Loyola-Chicago handled the Big Ten champs, 71-58. So the state of Illinois belongs to Loyola or Chicago. That's it. I'm not going to dive in much into that because I watched that game. I'm pretty sure everybody else did too because that was the first game on the docket. Loyola, Chicago, about to do it again. So that was your other Big Ten team that got knocked out. Rutgers. After they took down Clemson, they ran into Houston. Very competitive game. Rutgers tried everything they could, but they fell short. 63-60 Houston. That's another Big Ten team knocked out. Hey, congratulations to Maryland. You took out UConn in the 7-10 upset. But then you went into Alabama. And guess what? Alabama wasn't having it. 96-77. Alabama wasn't having it. Not Bama. Not an Nate Oates coach team. No, they wasn't having it. So they did what they had to do. Okay, there go another big team out. Michigan State got taken out by UCLA in the first 4 game. Go figure. Michigan is in the Sweet 16. I just talked about Iowa getting taken out by Oregon. So, out of 9 teams, only 1 remains, and that's the Michigan, Juwan Howard's team. The Pac-12 is up. The Big Ten is down. What a bad way to go out. If you're the best conference in college basketball, and that's the Big Ten. You went from 9-1 in 2 rounds. In a span of 4 days. You went from 8-1. 9-1. You lost 8 teams in the span of 4 days. But hey, what more can I say? Congratulations to the Gonzaga. Looks unbeatable. Creighton, USC, Oregon, Michigan, Florida State, UCLA, Alabama, Houston, Syracuse, Oregon State, Loyola-Chicago, Oral Roberts, Arkansas, Villanova, and Baylor. Those are your teams that's in the Sweet 16. I will preview those games Friday. Because before I get out of here, I want to talk some NBA. It's been a while since I talked some NBA, but I want to talk some NBA. LeBron James got hurt over the week. LeBron James took an injury. He's going to be out for several weeks. Still no word on Anthony Davis and when he's coming back. So in the 3 games the Lakers have done without LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they are 1-2 so far. Not a good start, to say the least. But You know, these things happen. They got to step up. Somebody has to step up for the Lakers to get them on track. But who knows? It might take some time for this team to get used to having none of their leaders ready to go. So with that being said, Lakers are in trouble. From where I'm sitting at, the Lakers are in trouble because they don't have LeBron James, they don't have Anthony Davis. So LeBron James rolled his ankle on Saturday against the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks ended up winning that game 99-94. It's going to be interesting to see how the Lakers try to go without LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They're going to need Anthony Davis back for the playoffs regardless. LeBron will be back for the playoffs. I know that for a fact. But they're going to need Anthony Davis for the playoffs. Because if you don't have a healthy Anthony Davis, the Lakers can hang it up of going back-to-back. And essentially going back-to-back is kind of hard, I will say. We don't have Golden State went back-to-back with Kevin Durant, but since then, Toronto stopped them from going 3 straight. The Lakers have won it. That's about it. You don't do 3-peats in the NBA no more. You can do back-to-back, but you can't do 3-peats. That was the point in time you did 3-peats in the NBA and you went back-to-back in the NFL. Those don't exist no more. You go back-to-back in the NBA and you win one at a time in the NFL. As I look at these standings here, let's see. The last time I left y'all, I gave y'all the standings at the end of the first half of the season. Let's see where these teams are at in the second half of this. Where they at right now as we are in full swing of the second half of the season. Philadelphia is still on top of the East at 30-19. They have went 9-1 since the All-Star break. Number 2 is the Brooklyn Nets, still at number 2. They're at 24-14 right now. They have went 5-1 since the All-Star break. The Milwaukee Bucks 28-14. They have went 6-0 since the All-Star break. Miami in 4th place all of a sudden. Matter of fact, Miami was in 6th at the All-Star break. They are in 4th place right now. 22-21, 4-3 since the All-Star break. Atlanta 22-21. I don't even remember they record through an All-Star break because I didn't write it down because they weren't even a part of the top 10. They wasn't in the top 10 at the All-Star break. Now they are 5th. And they have went 8-2 in their last 10 games. 8-2. 8-2 now. The Atlanta Hawks are in the playoffs. They're in the 5th spot all of a sudden. Who has fallen down a bit? The Charlotte Hornets. Nope, the Charlotte Hornets went up from 7 to 6. With the record of 21-21, 500, 4-3 since the All-Star break. The New York Knicks, they have dropped from 5th to 7th. 21-22 on the year. They are 2-4 since the All-Star break. The Boston Celtics. They were 4th at the All-Star break. They was 4th in the All-Star break. They are 8th right now. 8th right now. They are 2-5 since the All-Star. The Boston Celtics. 2-5 since the All-Star break. Brad Stevens, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart. What the hell is going on in Boston? Somebody let me know what is going on in Boston right now. The Chicago Bulls take the 9th spot with the record of 19-23, 3-5 since the All-Star break. Indiana's the 10th spot, 19-23, 3-4 since the All-Star break. I just need to know what the hell's going on with Boston. Boston should not be below a 4th seed in the East. But Miami occupies the 4th seed. Atlanta occupies the 5th seed. Charlotte occupies the 6th seed. And the New York Knicks occupy the 7th seed. The Boston Celtics are on the 8th line. What is this? The 8th line. Let's go to the West. Utah still has the best record in the NBA, so that tells you they are number 1. 31-11. They are 4-2 since the All-Star break. The Phoenix Suns are number 2. 28-13. They are 4-2 since the All-Star break. The Los Angeles Lakers remain 3rd in the conference. 28-15. 4-2 since the All-Star break. The Los Angeles Clippers are 4th. 28-16. 4-2 since the All-Star break. The Denver Nuggets, 25-17, occupying the 5th spot. 4-2 since the All-Star break. The Portland Trail Blazers, that Batman Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard wins the stretch of scoring 36, I believe 50 and 37 in the 3-game span. That's a lot of scoring. That is a lot of scoring. He scored well over 100 points in 3 games. But the Portland Trail Blazers 25-17, 4-3 since the All-Star break. San Antonio Spurs occupying the 7th spot, 22-18, 4-4 since the All-Star break. The Dallas Mavericks, the 8th spot, 22-19, 4-3 since the All-Star break. Golden State is occupying the 9th spot, 22-21, 3-3 since the All-Star break. And the Memphis Grizzlies occupying the 10th spot at 20-20, 4-4 since the All-Star break. For those of you who want to know why he's going from 8 to 10, because positions 7 and 8, at 9 and 10, get to play each other for play-ins. We have 2 play-in games for each conference. We're getting more than that as we get closer to May and any playoff. But 7, 8, 9, and 10, the 4 teams occupying those spots will have play-in games to make the playoffs. There are some trade rumors going out there. Aaron Gordon is looking for himself to get traded out of Orlando. I don't blame him one bit. Right now, Boston's the lead for that trade, and it's saying Marcus Smart is most likely a part of that trade. I don't blame Aaron Gordon one bit. I said it last time I talked about the NBA. I'm going to say it again. I need new management in Orlando. This is terrible. Orlando is like 14 and like 28. Damn near last in the East. The only reason why they ain't last in the East because we still got a team in the Detroit Pistons that is in the East. 14-28 is the Orlando Magic. 1-9 in the last 10 games. That one win was a surprising one that came at the hands of the Brooklyn Nets. That was a surprising one. But other than that, all the other games they played, they lost. 14-28. The only team that's worse than you is the Detroit Pistons at 12-30. That's in the East. In the West, the Houston Rockets at 12-30. Minnesota Timberwolves 10-33. Only 3 teams are worse than the Orlando Magic in the entire NBA. Yet we made the playoffs the last 2 seasons. I need new management in Orlando. Fire the GM. Fire the player personnel. Fire the scouting team. I actually like Steve Clifford as the coach. I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. But if you need to fire him too. I need a GM with a basketball IQ. A high basketball IQ. I need a scout team who knows how to scout talent. And put the pieces together to make this team where it needs to be at. I can only ask for so much. I need the people in place to do it. So, Orlando, you need a clean house. ASAP. Clean house. And that's how I'm going to leave it for this episode. I'm just going to leave it just like that. Like I said, next episode, I'll get into the Sweet 16 matchup. If there's something interesting to talk about in the NBA, I would do it. But if not, don't get mad at me because I will get back to the NBA once the tournament is over. But most of my focus is on the NCAA Tournament. Shout out to all the teams that made the Sweet 16. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, y'all get healthy. The Lakers gonna need y'all to make this back-to-back run. Y'all get healthy. Other than that, it's looking like the East is looking good, and the West, can y'all catch Utah? That's pretty much what it is right now in the NBA. With that being said, catch me. Be on the lookout. Rambley Talk is this week. Season 2 starts this week for Rambley Talk. I'll get into what the Rams have done in free agency so far. That should be fun. Until then, I'll catch y'all on Friday for more Hoops Talk. Have a good one. Thank you guys very much for listening to another week of Hoops Talk. Now, if you want to stay updated on new episodes that's coming up for Hoops Talk, please subscribe to the podcast. And those of you who are listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, please leave a rate and review of the podcast. Let us know how we are doing. And for those of you who want to be updated on everything that goes on the Playmakers Blog brand, subscribe to the website, theplaymakersblog.com. That way you can see every podcast that's under the brand. And you can even get your own Playmakers Bar merch by hitting our shop tab on the website. You'll see our Threadless store and our Spreadshirt store. So get you some Playmakers Bar merch. And don't forget, subscribe to the website to stay updated on everything that goes on the Playmakers Bar brand. As for me, the Playmaker down there, Silence, I'm signing off until next week for more Hoops Talk.